y'all, Mythic Rare here. Thank you to all my A1 Day 1 subscribers. For anybody new or is just passing through, welcome. Today, what you see in front of you is a work in progress. And then I am gonna talk at you or chat because, life actually happened in the Mythic household for once. So feel free to have me be your company while you play games, do chores, pretend to do chores, work, drive, you're crafting alongside of me, whatever. Yeah, like we're just gonna hang out. um all the accessories and where I got them are gonna be down in the description box below. So, yeah, like we're gonna kick this thing off with some pet shenanigans because, like, really, the last week and a half, like what was that? My head was spinning. My head is still spinning. I am like still will catch myself occasionally in my nothing box just like staring out into space trying to process everything that's like happened in the last like week and a half to 2 weeks. But it all started with the pet shenanigans. So usually our troublemaker is Rylee. She has been surprisingly pretty chill. When on one of her more recent vet visits, she was actually diagnosed with anxiety, and she has a daily pill that she has to have. So ever since then, like, she has been pretty chill. And I mean, she will have her moments, like, we're approaching deer season, so we'll have the occasional white-tailed doe emerge from our tree line, like, into the clearing for our trailer and our driveway and, like, little front yard area. And we'll see that doe run across, and we'll see Rylee start at the one end of the dog run and, like, completely chase after her and, like, run after the deer so fast that she will consistently, like, clothesline herself with the dog run because she'll, like, run out of lead on it. And there was one time where she must have wanted after a deer or something, like, so bad. Like, I don't know if a squirrel antagonized her or what, but she somehow managed to undo the lobster hook where the lead, like, will hook onto her harness. And she was just, like, out wandering the neighborhood for a decent little bit, unbeknownst to me and the rest of the family members, because I was taking calls and everybody was home but Alex. So then Rylee goes back to the house, and then she follows Alex up the driveway, and then it's kind of one of those, oh, hello, doggo. Wait, what? You don't have the lead? And then he just picks her up, and Fireman carries her into the house, and she's all, like, confused because she doesn't like to be picked up or, you know, because she's like a 95-pound dog. And she is almost all pure muscle, too. So she is just like, huh, what? Put me down. So yeah, like really nothing too much of note there. Like most of the pet shenanigans is zesty shenanigans. And I think it all started with this one. Typically, like, I have really bad allergies, and then I will go and I will do a saline rinse in the bathroom sink in the morning, and in the evening I flush out all of my sinuses with distilled water that's been microwaved, and I will, mix a saline packet with it and do my thing. That may be a little bit gross here for YouTube. Not gonna go too on into it. I mean, if you want to Google it, you can, but you be warned, it's kind of gross. If you're an allergy sufferer, you'll understand exactly what I am talking about. But so every single night, like, I go and I rinse out my sinuses, and sometimes Zesty will follow me into the bathroom. Because, once you've been chosen by the cat distribution system, you will never get to visit the office or drop your kids off at the pool by yourself. Like, you will always be under cat supervision. And I think there was one time where I think I had just rinsed out my sinuses or had gone to the bathroom. I think I had gone to the bathroom, actually. And Zesty the cat followed me in. Usually she'll pop right back out as soon as I'm not there anymore, and then she'll want to go follow me around and see whatever else I'm doing. Apparently, she just decided to sit in the bathroom and then just chill. And then at one point during the evening, she got really bored. So then she decided to paw at the handle for the hot water on the bathroom sink. Or not the sink, the tub. So, and this was like on a Friday night. Saturday morning comes around, Alex's parents are like type A's, like they're up at 7. They are trying to get everything done first thing ASAP when it first opens, and they're wanting to take a shower to go see so then they can go see the groomer and get Rylee all like spruced up and de-shedded for the fall. Alex's mom had no hot water, and if there is one thing she cannot stand is a cold shower. So she made Alex's dad go, double check the pilot light, do whatever you need to do. I need a shower, and I am not taking it cold. So I'm hearing him go out, and I'm also kind of thinking to myself, what's that noise? Oh, it's water. Wait, they're talking about the hot water being out, and I'm just thinking all this to myself and in a sleep dazed stupor because it's 7 a.m. and it's the weekend before Halloween. I had just stayed up super late trying to get my Drills and Chills project done, and I'm just there in my sleepy bleh mode, or I'm just oh no, don't tell me the cat did what I thought the cat did. Sure enough, I go out of my room. I walk into the bathroom. The bathroom is all steamy. It's like warm and humid. The mirrors are fogged. And I'm just like looking over at the faucet at the tub. I see the hot water is just ever so slightly more like facing down, like it was just barely turned, and then there was the cold water that was perfectly straight, how it's supposed to be. So I, do my business in the bathroom. I come out and I'm telling everybody, yeah, give the hot water heater 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure it's fine. What had happened, y'all, was Zesty decided to hop up on the lip of the bathtub like she usually does. And we have one of those shower tub combos. So it's got like the little thicker edges to where you can prop soap dish or your shampoo, whatever else on it, right? Well, she decided, I guess, to stand up on her hind legs and then just paw at the handle for the hot water. And she got it to turn on, and she probably, like, as soon as she heard the water and, like, felt the moisture, she's probably like, psst. And she just, like, she scat and she, like, went to the other end of the bathroom or something. I don't know. Like, that'd be my only thought about that. All I know is that it had to have been the cat, because as soon as I was walking in there to go take care of my business, she was like bolting out. And then I am usually considered the food human in the house, at least, and or the treat dispenser, as by the cat standards, because Alex leaves home way too early from work, and he'll usually forget. Alex's dad is leaving right about the same time, and he's usually busy with the morning routine from the dog. Alex's mom has had like really interesting issues with her blood pressure randomly just like hitting the hitting the fan. Like, she'll stand up and then feel dizzy, like, so she doesn't really want to bend down or anything like that. So it kind of just leaves me having to do everything for the cat. Well, this time, Zesty decided to give Alex a little bit of TLC. Alex is not TLC as in like she hopped into his bed and like sought out cuddles or anything like that. Nah. Like, at that point, I think that the world is coming to an end, because she is not a cuddly cat. She wasn't cuddled very much as a kitten. So she has no concept of it. She's like, cuddles, what's that? But nah, she decided to give Alex a present one day. Alex was just like getting ready in the morning, and he has steel toe cowboy boots because he does construction, and carrying heavy bundles of rebar, 80-pound bags of crete. Yeah, you want steel toes. He puts on his socks, puts one foot in one boot, goes in just fine, puts on the other sock, puts the right foot in the right boot, and the right foot won't go all the way in, and then he's like, what? Did I just, like, wad up a sock and accidentally, like, leave it? Like, what the hell? So then he takes his boot and turns it upside down, and he's, like, hitting it, like, thunk, thunk, like... I know, this is probably, like, a way literal example, but he was, like, gonna go, like that, right? And he saw something drop out of the boot. He bends down to look at it, and there lies a dead mouse. And he left his door open that one night, and he's just like, guys don't scream, but when they get grossed out, they like, they make that face, and he made that face and, like, jumped a few feet back. And he's like, Zesty, you left me a present. And I mean, it makes sense, too, because he left his door open. I keep my door closed because even though I love the cat, sadly, I'm allergic to her. I, like, can't hang around her too long, so, you know. There was one time where she got up on my bed, and then afterwards, like, I could not stop sneezing. So, yeah, like, I keep my door closed at night. But Alex didn't this one night. He left his door open, and then that's what he got, is he got a present. And this, like, pretty much, like, she was just doing the most this one weekend because, after the whole incident with the hot water and then, like, the present, it is Sunday night, and I had just done all the dishes. I had gotten all the trash and everything from dinner rounded up in the kitchen trash can, and, you know, I was the one to fill it, so I'm going to be a good family member, and I'm going to go take it out. Well, I have the bag in one hand, and, you know, just because having pets, I have the door in the other hand, so as I'm going to walk forward, the back door from the utility room is going to shut. Well, unbeknownst to me, Zesty was, like, at my ankles. She was following me. And she decided to snake through my ankles, and I got, like, a bag of trash in one hand. So I just decided to try and grab her with the other hand, but she, like, wiggles through. And I am, like, hollering at the top of my lungs for everybody, and I am like, she got out. Yeah, we probably spent a good hour trying to get this cat out from underneath our deck. Out back, she had crawled underneath, and she was exploring and stuff, and she would not want to come out. Like, we tried her toys, we tried actually walking on the deck and stomping on it and stuff to try and get her to, like, be herded in a certain direction, and then we could grab her. But nah, like, she was super duper stubborn. And I mean, it's because, you know, she was used to being with Ben. Ben had a super high-rise apartment in Baltimore. He was up about 20 stories or so, and it was so high up that Zesty's like, man, I'm not even going to try it. So she would just chill out on his little balcony. well. Like, the trailer's right there, the ground's right there. Like, she can easily jump and, like, you know, not... Like, she can easily just, like, jump and walk it off. Like, it's no big deal. A trailer is just a few feet up off the ground, but it ain't too terribly far. So, especially not for a cat. So, she hopped off the deck and she's, like, under there exploring and stuff like that. And we're just like, what do we do? Because we don't want her underneath the trailer, because then there'd be, like, absolutely no friggin' way we're getting her out. And then I'm just like, oh, wait, Zesty has tuna treats. If we can get those, then maybe she'll come out. So we, like, shook the treat bag, and we all, like, took some treats and stuff, trying to coax her out, and she still wouldn't come. And then I'm just like, well, maybe it has to be, like, super duper pungent. Why don't we crack a can of tuna? And then Alex's mom comes out with a pack of Star-Kissed tuna. She rips it open and puts it up on a plate, and yeah, not even a minute later, Zesty comes out from underneath the deck, and she is just like, nom 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 nom. Like, just completely shoveling it in. And Alex's dad just, like, lunged forward and grabbed her with both hands. He got the living daylight scratched out of him, but better him than me, because otherwise, you know, she might be angry with me, and I'm the hand that feeds her. So, yeah. But, you know, after being a little upset for a minute, I gently approached her and stuff, and we made up. So it was, it was all right, but she really did give us a scare. And then there are other things that Zesty has done that was just plain, like, goofy. So, our McDonald's has had no double quarter pounders with cheese or Big Macs or anything for a while because of the whole E. coli outbreak. And Oklahoma was one of the places most heavily affected by it, so that's why. Like, I think they found it in both the onions and the meat, if I'm not mistaken. So we didn't have McDonald's for quite a while. And then it was, like, the first time that we were able to get a double quarter pounder with cheese. Like, absolutely, we got it. And one of us had a large fry. I was going through the order trying to divvy out the food, and Zesty is, like, walking into the room, and she just, like, takes a fry out of the carton and then just, like, walks away. She just scampers off. I'm just kind of like, well, geez, I guess, like, my fries are not safe now. I wonder how many times she's done it to Ben. Oh man, if Zesty was still around, you could not leave your popcorn unattended. That cat would eat popcorn. We are thoroughly convinced that Zesty was a human in a previous life because she has straight up licked pizza sauce off of somebody's pizza once. But yeah, no. Like, Zesty, she just took a fry. Like, she just straight up stole a fly, scampered away. But probably one of the more interesting of her hijinks was last week. Alex was taking clothes out the dryer, and as soon as he did that, she hopped into the dryer and she was all like exploring the drum and stuff like that and trying to get it to move and whatever. Like, she was sniffing all around it on the inside. And then she finally, like, scampered out. We got some pretty good pictures of that one, too. But it's just like, my goodness, this cat. So, yeah, like, quite a bit of pet shenanigans and stuff. And then, of course, after that was drills and chills. I stayed up, like, way late. I was fighting with my ABs at one point in that ghost picture for a good 20 to 30 minutes towards the end. And I was like, well, the thing is technically open until 11:59 Pacific. And what is it Pacific time? Oh, it's only like 10 something. So even though it's past the time in Oklahoma, and it's technically November 1, I'm still going to keep going. So I kept on going, and I eventually got my finish at 10:40 p.m. Phoenix time. Which, before the time change, yeah, they would be on Pacific. So I was like, heck yeah, I made it. I took my picture. I put it in the Facebook group. I was just like riding cloud nine, and I could not stop staring at all the ABs. It was just like, yes, chef's kiss. I worked on this every single day for almost 2 months, and I am finally done. And by the time I quit, like, staring at it constantly, it was, yeah, 2 o'clock in the morning, Oklahoma time, and I had to be at work. So I was, like, completely half past dead at work. But you know what? So were all the other travel agents and callers anyway. So it was like, hey, yeah, welcome to the stayed up late with their kids, or stayed up late partying too much. Like, welcome to the club. We were all half past dead and sleep deprived here. So it's like, there was that. And then November 1, I got super duper good amounts of sleep. November 2nd, though, oh man, that was another story because we were under the gun for severe weather. Like, everybody was saying, oh, it's a loaded, like it's a bases loaded scenario, and all the players are here. And like, it was your stereotypical Great Plains trough ejection type of setup where it's like you got the dip in the jet stream and it's swinging on up right over, like, just to the west of Oklahoma City. So there's gonna be storms, and and all kinds of things. And then, like, it was so weird because typically, especially in the spring, when we know that it is gonna be a severe weather day, is not only will everybody say like, oh, like the dew points are approaching 70, and then like they severely drop off into like the 30s and 40s dew point, like out west past this way, and like, you know, you got the whole dry line set up, you've got like southerly winds, and you've got like the winds going this other direction, like this high up. But it's like we had all of those things, but the actual like forcing mechanism, the trough itself, didn't arrive until way late. It was right about dinner time when the storms actually started going. And if it's gonna be a particularly nasty severe weather day, then the storms usually get going in the morning, it clears up in the afternoon, so you already have all of that moisture that's just straight up baking. And I'm looking for C and I can't find C. C, where are you? But yeah, it's like you have all of that moisture that's just straight up baking, and like it bubbles up, and that's like it bubbles up through the heating of the day, and then you get, you know, your storms to fire later. But the storms, like that first round of storms, didn't happen until 5. So here I am thinking like, oh, well, maybe it's not going to be as bad as they said that they would. But we were just like right on the edge of that whole enhanced risk. So I'm just like, well, you know, I feel like better to be prepared than to be scared. I'll just pack my tornado bag anyways. And it just kept on getting later and later into the evening. I talked to my Aunt Leslie on the phone. I made dinner and everything, and I was expecting, you know, the storms to come. And I mean, they did kind of, but it wasn't anything that, you know, was lining up with the actual storm prediction center. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave everything packed, and I'm just gonna, you know, try to diamond paint at least a little bit to keep myself calm during all this. Because, like, in Oklahoma, if you're, you know, got a severe weather day, you don't want to let your guard down too much. You want to keep your head on a swivel, because during those days, anything can happen. I mean, I've only been here, like, gonna be 4 years in the spring, and I've already seen a 2% overperform and nearly drop a tornado on top of our trailer. So it's like, yeah, like Oklahoma can just straight up do anything that it wants to. Wow. Like it does not want to give up these 2 drills. So I was just, you know, carefully watching everything, and then it's one of those like, okay, well, it still hasn't happened. It could happen. It's a good thing that I sleep with my phone. Like, I'll straight up have it in my ears. I'll just have whatever random videos about science going on that are really, really boring that'll just like put me to sleep. And I was like in a dead sleep too, and I just all of a sudden, wake up. Don't know what exactly compelled me to, except for the fact that it was much too quiet. Like, normally I might hear the cat having the zoomies at like 2 o'clock in the morning, or I might hear my boyfriend stumbling across the hall to go use the bathroom, or like your usual, like, buzzing of the fridge, the whirl of the AC or the heat, like those typical home household noises that your electronics and appliances make. I wasn't hearing any of those. I just, like, none of those were making noises. It was just like dead quiet. Two seconds later, my phone made the infamous EAS/Amber Alert noise. And it was like just after 2 a.m. too, so I am just like, what? I just like literally saw it go from 3 a.m. and like change right in front of my eyes to 2 a.m. and then it was like making this noise. I'm just like, that typically doesn't happen during time change. Like, what the heck? And then a pop-up came up on my phone that said tornado warning, and I'm just like, nah. This can't be happening. This was supposed to happen earlier. Like, and then I was like looking at it and I saw the timestamp, and then I'm just like, wait, this was for 20 minutes ago? Like what the heck? Did they cancel it? And I'm just like going over to channel 4, forewarned, and then like looking all up in their app trying to see, are we in a polygon? Sure enough, we are. And it turns out there was a tornado that passed by 89th and Sooner, which is like 15, maybe 20 minutes in moderate traffic just to the west of me. And the one that I had just seen was like a warning for the Tinker Airfield and Stanley Draper, and I'm just like, oh lord, that is basically like right on top of us. Because I live like just across the way from Tinker, like the AWACS is basically an everyday regular occurrence. Like, you can look up in the sky at a particular time and it's there. um yeah, like that's how close we are to the actual Air Force Base. Yeah, and then we were getting warned for it. So it's like, well, great. Yeah, like let's actually tune into the news and see what's going on. And they weren't mentioning any of like my immediate cross streets or anything, or they weren't saying, oh, like people between this street to like this street, y'all need to get to your safe places or anything like that. Like they didn't have any of that sort of language. So I'm just like confused as all get out. I think because they were maybe chasing another circulation at the time that I had decided to tune in. So I wake up Alex. I wake up Alex. Alex's mom was already awake and she was trying to do like me, figure out where the heck this thing was. And then, it was still coming for us. We figured out that it was still headed in our direction, and I'm just like we're all just praying, like, God, please make this thing a ski jump our hill, just like you always do, because we're like on the side of a hill. And at least in our experience, like, we can't speak for everybody, but at least for this particular neighborhood, with us being on the lee side of a hill, the tornadoes just go like right over us. The only time that, at least of all the stories that I hear every single year about tornadoes during the fall and spring storm season, is that so far I think there was only like one or two that Alex had to take shelter for, one of those being the May 20, 2013 one. Yeah, other than that, and I think like the whole thing in April of 23, when Shawnee got hit, like, we really haven't had to take shelter here. Like, it's a pretty good, pretty safe area, even for Tornado Alley. Like, they just don't, I mean, I will be sure to, like, knock on my bed frame and all kinds of things after this. But they just don't come here. But this one was, like, pretty much right on top of us, and then we heard the wind pick up outside and all that, and just like that, the next places they were talking about was Hera, which is literally, I could get on the 40 and go north about 15, not the I'm thinking of like two different streets at the same time. Like, I could go north, get on Reno, take Reno for like 20 minutes and I'm in Hera. Or I could get on a 40, take the 40 for 20 minutes, and then like get off and I'd be in Hera. Like, I'd have to get off and like take another street to get up north, but then I'd be in Hera. So it's like Hera is actually like really, really close. I mean, both of these were super duper close. And thankfully it was a Saturday. I had a really, really hard time going back to sleep after that one because like, I don't really have a whole lot of things to do for business or any of that in Hera. I mean, I might go up that way for one of the casinos if I feel so inclined. But that's about it. Like, all of my stuff is basically gonna be into the city, unless I'm like trying to get real ID, and then, you know, the soonest appointment that I could get it would be Shawnee. But yeah, no, like I typically don't go to Hera for anything, but they're just like they're one of those communities where they're just like they're so close. Um 89th and Sooner is actually hitting a little bit too close to home, because it's like, oh yeah, well, like I've taken Sooner down to a more Norman for like all kinds of things, especially if I know the 35 is backed up. All like Sooner is one of those, backup routes. It's also one of those routes that gets plowed first in the winter when we get a wallop of snow. Um yeah, it's just one of those streets that everybody knows. And it's a nice area too. It was all like new construction, I think, from when the 2013 tornado hit. So it's like, wow, it's been 10 years, and those folks are having to rebuild again? Like, that is just nuts. So at this point, I am like, I was ultra sleep deprived from October 31st. Got relatively okay sleep for November 1st, but then I'm like super sleep deprived November 2nd. November 2nd going into November 3rd, Sunday. So, and I'm just like so sleep deprived to the point where it's just like completely whacked out my entire mood, and I'm just grumpy, and it like y'all just need to talk to the hand. Like, kind of grumpy, like didn't want to hear from absolutely anybody. Unless you had caffeine, then maybe I'd, then maybe I would be friendly. But yeah, like that was like, it just completely wrecked my mood, not getting any sleep, and it was like and it made me super jumpy too. There was one time where Alex put a pizza in the toaster oven, or like bagel bites or something to that effect, and when it went off, I like jumped back 5 feet. Feel like I need to maybe pick up the anxiety-ridden canvas from Fallon Gems now, because yeah, that's totally me during severe weather outbreak. So we got groceries. He drove, we got groceries, we brought them home, and we had just gotten the groceries home, and there were storms starting up again. And this time I'm watching Channel 5 and KOCO. So, Channel 5, they were saying that there was a circulation near Moore, and I am just like, oh, great. Here we go again. And as these storms are rolling into town, like, they were picking up steam, and I'm just like, well, great. I have everything ready to go in the tornado bag. I'm like gonna scoop up my chargers and everything. I'm gonna like manhandle the dog into the house. because it's gonna be here in like 10 minutes. I was full on expecting the sirens to go off again, and then for us to maybe like go to our safe space, but nope. Those storms actually got downgraded to heavy thunderstorms. So then I'm just like, I'm feeling that whole letdown of like the last few days of severe weather, and I was just like straight up pass out exhausted. Cause it's that whole like your body is having like so much tension, you don't know what the heck is gonna happen. You're in like fight or flight, and then when you just like release, when you feel like the tension release in the atmosphere, it also kind of like releases in your body too. It's a really odd phenomenon, but for certain people, even animals, it does tend to happen. Because during that whole entire time, Zesty was, if I had left my door open just a tad, she would immediately bolt into this room and make a beeline for my closet, because my closet is one of the few places in this trailer that doesn't have any windows, and it is somewhat like an interior room. So she automatically thinks that it's the safest place in the house, and she just like ducked out there in the storm, and when the storm was over, she'd come out, which I think is like really, really hilarious, because they tell us that as humans, but somehow the cats and the dogs, like they understand too. It's interesting. So yeah, that was Sunday. I'm just like letting go of all that tension. I'm just like playing Minecraft. I'm, just like living my best life. And I decide to shower, get ready, go to bed. And then, you know, like Monday it's supposed to be a stormy too, but I heard it wasn't supposed to be quite, as bad. Well, I all of a sudden wake up in the evening to like that eerily still, it is way too quiet, something ain't right kind of feeling. And I just immediately look at my phone and I see that there was a tornado warning that I had somehow managed to sleep through, and it went off 30 minutes ago. And I am just like, wait, 30 minutes? Usually we get 20 minutes of lead time at the most. Okay, tell me I'm screwed without tell me I'm being screwed. And I'm just like sitting there in bed and I'm listening for the sirens, and the sirens are not going off. So I'm just like, okay, like seriously, what in the tarnation is going on? So I pull up KOCO, and then they're saying that there is another round of storms that's coming through, and it produced the EF0 bird fart tornado that Reed Timmer and crew had caught, wafting leaves and stuff over and more, and then that brief little circulation is what triggered the tornado warning, but it never amounted to anything when it actually got into Oklahoma City. It just like fizzled out, thank goodness, and we just went about our day. But yeah, like that was a freaking roller coaster and a half. Like, I just barely paid attention to the news or anything like that when it came to Tuesday. Like, I was just so sacked and so wiped out that I just straight up rested. Because it's like, oh, I went through all of that sleep deprivation and I'm expected to be a good citizen and do my civic duty, and I had to get it in before work. So it was like by the time I got to Tuesday night, I was just like, I was just like completely gassed. Like, you cannot get me to do anything. I cannot be bothered. Like, I just really, 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 really would appreciate some rest. And yeah, like that last a little bit of last week plus now, I still feel like after that many days in a row of little to no sleep or bad quality sleep, I am just like so ready. I am just like, yes, finally. Now maybe that we have a WIP and chat up, we've got everything covered for this next week. Maybe, just maybe, I can sleep. Speaking of, I need to go to bed because work tomorrow morning. So I will see you all in the next one. Bye.